This is Real Conversations with Anita, a mental health podcast brought to you by Iltizam by Equinus and MIASA Malaysia.
Isn't that the point of life?
It is.
Having purpose and meaning for all individuals.
Yep.
And having a reason to live.
Yes.
Because we know, by diagnostic category, if I no longer have purpose and meaning in life, I actually can will myself to death.
Betul. Right.
The first step, I think, is to acknowledge that you're not okay dulu.
And to acknowledge that you're not okay pun perlu waktu. Perlu sedikit ilmu, vulnerability and kejujuran sebenarnya.
The whole life is a trial, right? So different people are given different types of trials.
That's correct.
Right? With disability or mental illness, we are given more tests compared to others, perhaps.
Betul.
Yeah, but the higher the test, the higher the return.
Betul.
InsyaAllah.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat petang semua. Terima kasih kerana setia bersama dengan kami dalam podcast Real Conversations with Anita, sebuah podcast kesihatan mental yang dibawakan kepada anda oleh Iltizam by Equinus dan juga MIASA Malaysia. Dan hari ini saya selaku Presiden dan juga pengasas MIASA Malaysia, iaitu sebuah badan NGO kesihatan mental yang ditubuhkan dan digerakkan oleh para pejuang sendiri. Hari ini seperti biasa kita akan mengupas tentang stigma dan juga persepsi negatif tentang sebuah topik yang sangat dekat di hati saya dan juga MIASA, dan juga tetamu yang kami bawakan hari ini untuk memperbincangkan tentang topik Deinstitutionalization of mental health care and the future of mental health in Malaysia. Dan seperti biasa juga kami ingin memberikan penghormatan kepada para individu-individu di atas segala usaha yang mereka telah jalankan di komuniti dan juga perjuangan mereka. Dan hari ini suka saya memperkenalkan Dr. Abdul Kadir bin Abu Bakar, seorang pakar psikiatri dan juga penasihat MIASA Malaysia dari hari pertama kami ditubuhkan. Masya Allah, Alhamdulillah. Jadi terima kasih banyak-banyak Dr. Kadir kerana sudi meluangkan masa bersama kami. Dr. Kadir, apa khabar? How are you?
Baik, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Jadi Dr. Kadir, sebelum kita memulakan sesi ini, mungkin izinkan saya memperkenalkan serba sedikit tentang latar belakang Dr. Kadir kepada mereka yang mungkin tidak mengenali lagi Dr. Kadir. Tapi Dr. Kadir ni otai dah lama di dalam orang kata arena kesihatan mental sendiri ya. Jadi Dr. Kadir adalah seorang pakar perunding psikiatri kanan di Hospital Gleneagles, Medini Johor Bahru, dan juga pengasas Minda Johor, sebuah NGO yang didedikasikan untuk meningkatkan kesedaran kesihatan mental dan juga mendirikan sokongan kepada mereka yang berjuang dengan isu kesihatan mental dan juga ahli keluarga. Beliau juga pernah berkhidmat sebagai pengarah Hospital Permai Tampoi Johor dan dikenali di peringkat antarabangsa atas kepakaran beliau, pengalaman beliau juga. Dan Dr. Kadir juga merupakan penasihat satu MIASA dari awal penubuhan MIASA. Alhamdulillah. Jadi terima kasih sekali lagi Dr. Kadir kerana bersama kami. We are very humbled, truly humbled to have you in Real Conversations with Anita. Jadi hari ini Dr. Kadir, this is a topic that obviously is something I'm sure close to your heart, close to my heart as well, and all of us at MIASA. And topik ni bukan sahaja penting, tetapi sudah tentu ia sukar dan kurang diperbincangkan secara terbuka, kan Dr. Kadir. Jadi mungkin sebagai permulaan Dr. Kadir boleh berkongsi dulu kepada semua pendengar-pendengar dan penonton kita, Deinstitutionalization in mental health care ni apa definisi dan maksudnya, dan apakah tujuan utama dia, Dr. Kadir?
Okey. Terima kasih Puan Anita. Terima kasih atas pengenalan yang ringkas tu. Okey, cukup yang tu. Right. Institusi. Yes. Institusi maksudnya kita memperbagaikan perkhidmatan untuk pejuang-pejuang atau pesakit-pesakit mental. Minta maaf saya guna perkataan pesakit. Pejuang. Anita tak suka. Tapi daripada dulu saya rasa tak ada masalah tu. Sebab bila sakit tu kita datang minta tolong. Tapi bila ada masalah macam mental, cancer, benda-benda yang kronik tu, mereka berjuang lah untuk berterusan hidup. So dua perspektif daripada seorang doktor dengan seorang pesakit, different sama sebenarnya. Asalkan tidak nampak hierarki situ. Sebab tu daripada awal di dalam kereta saya kata masalah Malaysia ni kita masih lagi dibelenggu Wah, kata belenggu.
Dahsyat.
Dia belenggu oleh
Bahasa A1 ni.
Thank you. Dia belenggu oleh minda feudal.
Yes. Sangat
Daripada
sebenarnya.
awal. Ya, memang betul. Kalau masa saya jadi presiden, pengarah, jadi saya nampak benda nak potong protokol tu susah.
Betul.
Susah sangat kami. Masih lagi dianggap yang paling atas tu kena bersuara last dan suara dia betul. Selalunya itu di Malaysia masih lagi.
Betul.
Jadi saya ni jenis yang lawan arus. Okay. Puan Anita kata ada sebenarnya sedikit sejarah personal saya, tak ada banyak sangat. Daripada kecil mak bapak tak tahu belajar, tak tahu baca.
Okey.
Buta huruf. Mak pandai Quran. Jadi mak mengajar Quran kat kampung. Bapak kerja buruh kat Singapura. Jadi dari kecil saya entah pasal second child tu mungkin terdorong untuk berusaha sendiri. Before primary school, my memory was my fourth brother. Adik yang keempat tu sakit nephrotic syndrome. So mak selalu ke hospital, teman mak ke hospital. Dia meninggal saya umur 8 tahun. Okay. Tak adalah trauma sangat. Saya ke sekolah masa tu. Cuma abang saya tu jahat. Dia kata, itulah kau. Adik tak sayang sebab tu dia mati. Kau tak ada. Tapi bila dah besar saya tahu kalau orang tu kalau disayang awak, dia tak nak dia tengok meninggal. So tak apalah tu coping mechanism gitu. Anyway, so tu that the first memory in childhood lah. Otherwise normal tak boleh keluar malam sebelum maghrib kena balik, kalau tidak kena hutan. Betul. Mak ustazah kan. Satu kampung datang ngaji.
Tapi mak saya pun sama juga.
Sama lah. Kita dibesarkan dalam keadaan sama. Jadi nerd lah sikit. Tapi boleh main badminton. Mak kasih kan. Tak ada masalah. Tak boleh. Kita duduk sebelah sungai.
Wow.
Tapi kalau masuk sungai, balik, kena keringkan badan dulu.
Betul.
Kalau rambut basah,
dah tahu dah kena punya.
Okay. So tu memory dia, which is quite. Tapi and then the school, my first memory in school, because parents cannot read, tak ada newspaper. So darjah 2, cikgu suruh cari newspaper cutting nak baca English newspaper. Cari dalam tong sampah. Nasib saya, cutting yang saya jumpa tu sama dengan kawan yang bapak dia kerja polis lah. Saya kena lempang cikgu tu. Dia kata saya tiru. Mulai daripada hari tu sampai saya pergi sekolah asrama penuh, saya tak balik rumah. Sekolah pagi, lepas sekolah tak makan tak minum, zoom pergi library kat Johor Bahru. Nak baca buku. Baca on my own, baca buku. So I to read the books. Satu library buku The Beagles, Secret Seven, semua dah baca dah. Sama baca all the history book. I'm a history buff.
Ada masa tu dah diciptakan.
Apa dia?
Secret Seven.
Ada. Semuanya dah baca dah. Long time ago. Annie Blyton punya gang.
Yes.
Right. So
dulu tu paling famous.
Ya, tu sampai tapi so lompat kelas lah.
Betul. Yelah dulu ada lagi.
Ada dia lompat. So from standard 2 tu tengok dah pandai sangat kan, naik standard 4. Standard 4 dia tanya nak naik standard 6 tak? Saya tak nak. Sebab apa? Abang saya standard 6. Dia kata kau jangan masuk kelas aku.
That would be his nightmare.
Yeah. Pasal tiap-tiap kali saya bawa result bagus, abang cakap standard 4 senang.
Abang yang trauma.
Standard 6 susah kan.
Aduh.
So lepas tu pergi asrama penuh, tak ada isu lah. Belajar semua. Always wanted to be a doctor.
Oh, subhanallah.
Always wanted.
Kenapa kan Dr. Kadir? What was
my mother worked, my uncle, my mother's elder brother, dia kerja kat mental hospital. He was a psychiatric. He was a psychiatric nurse in Permai.
Oh, I see.
So, but I wanted to be a doctor, not to be a psychiatrist.
Okay. Or did you understand what psychiatrist was during the time?
No,
okay.
Zero.
So just doctor lah.
Just
doctor physician lah.
Doctor, physician nak bagi orang ubat, nak baikkan.
Nak bagi ubat, okay.
Nak bagi ubat, nak baikkan orang. Semak. So, bila lepas SPM, MC dah result dah bagus, scholarship yang pertama dapat TNB scholarship.
Oh, I see.
Nak pergi Brighton, nak jadi engineer lah. I wanted to accept it. Tapi pasal mak cakap, mak dengan macam tak boleh. We need a doctor in the family. So, I tak jadi ambil lah. So,
then you went to med school?
I went to medical school. Went to medical school, finished medical school, came back, work as a doctor, nak jadi surgeon.
Nak jadi surgeon.
Nak jadi surgeon. Tapi I was placed in ONG.
Okay.
Obstetric.
Yes.
2 tahun.
Oh, 2 tahun.
So I got my membership part 1. Nak pergi jadi surgeon ni, diorang tak kasih pergi department surgery. Pasal good in my work lah. Dia suruh duduk. Sampai satu hari I tak dapat pergi sembahyang Jumaat 2 tahun ni. Sebab apa? Tak ada doktor. Saya more senior. Tiap-tiap kali pergi sembahyang adalah hal. Doktor ada nurse potong pusat salah, darah memancut. Time zaman tu tak ada tempat nak salin baju. The only pakai macam ni, nak pergi, nak siap sembahyang Jumaat. Doktor kata macam tu. So kita pergi edit, darah mengancut. Dah tak ada baju lain. So until one day I got fed up, kata I want to go get out of this place. Telefon kementerian, dia kata the only place you can go is Tampoi Mental Hospital. I know nothing about psychiatry. So kata okay, I'll go. So pergilah. Bila pergi situ dah nampak berubah sikit. Bagaimana institusi itu boleh membuatkan manusia jadi bodoh.
Betul. Sangat.
Okay, that's my first impression. I come from a surgical background. Betul. Semua cepat treat normally. And how are you? Your leg is broken. I see your leg. You go back normal, back to work. So my first one was a chronic ward. I ingat ward 11. Kita tengok patient semua kencing, berak, tepi longkang. Kita tengah review macam ni. Longkang situ datang. Disinhibited. Why? They were treated like that. So saya sebab kerja ONG datang pagi, pukul 7 pagi dekat ward. Datang pagi tengok diorang line up sakit-sakit, ambil hose, mandikan dengan hose. I've seen it with my eyes. Okay. So kata tak boleh jadilah. Tanya orang, this is dah orang macam itu. Then I realised common sense. Treat them like human beings. Call them and talk to them. So mula-mula belilah satu biskut tin, letak air macam ni, air teh, kasih biskut 2. Kena datang lah, berbual. Ada seorang tu dah komplain, tak ada benda, dia komplain asma. Dia nak ubat asma. Ada seorang tu komplain, dia cerita lama. Cerita lama-lama, dia punya sejarah lama. Dengar je lah. Then I realised, must do something. So nak buat kebun. Nak berkebun lah. Buat batas, ada tanah banyak. So buat batas, belikan cangkul, belikan tu, the MA tak nak support. Kata, no, this is not treatment. Treatment is ubat. You carilah ubat. Kan? Kata tak apa, we try lah. So dah start bagi menyangkul, pesakit semua dekat dia punya batas-batas. Refuse to come for review. Sonok kerja. So that was my first. Tak buat psychiatry lagi. Then I said, okay, pergi haji. Dapat peluang pergi haji. Kat sana, kata, okay, maybe this is my calling lah. So I decided pergi interview. Why do you want to do psychiatry? I said, I don't know psychiatry. When I was medical school, all I heard is crazy. Why? My first patient kata dia Nabi Musa. Dia keturunan Nabi Musa, adik-beradik semua Nabi. I took history, tanya adik-beradik berapa orang? 25. Oh, banyak adik-beradik? Ya. Siapa abang pertama? Adam. Siapa abang kedua? No. Yang ketiga Idris. Wah, semua Nabi-Nabi. Memang Nabi-Nabi semua adik-beradik saya. So it's crazy, bipolar guy lah. I know that later. So at that time, I tak tahu apa-apa. So I just studied the question that's going to come out for the exam. That's all.
I see.
That was my psychiatry punya exposure. So when I told this to my friends, you like rehabilitation? If that's what it is, then it is what that's my inkling lah.
Oh, I see.
At that time. So mula-mula jadi bila masuk psychiatry tu, disappointed lah. Disappointed because the training didn't push you towards rehabilitation. Not many people know what rehabilitation was about. Everything is medication. Sign and symptoms, medication. Sign and symptoms, medication.
The first line of treatment is always medication.
The rehabilitation is just one line. Betul. Patient will need some form of what? Don't tahu. Until today, I'm telling you, they do not know. Alright, so that's how I started. I went to psychiatry and then became psychiatrist. Disappointed because ubat lah, just one medication after another, one medication after another, A, B, C. Then I started to I said I want to go elsewhere lah. They posted me to Johor Bahru. Kat Johor Bahru tu buka sikit Minda. There was one, I was not posted to the mental hospital, to the general hospital Johor Bahru. Hospital Sultanah Aminah. Okay, where I was born. Yes. Tak ada psychiatric ward masa tu. No psychiatric ward. So the state pengarah says, I'm not going to build you a psychiatric ward. That was the first revolution in my mind. This guy said, because I have built psychiatry ward in Terengganu, it is near the mortuary. You go in Malaysia, everywhere, psychiatric ward that's built is always alienated. Almost always. Okay, except KL and Johor Bahru. Taiping, alienated. You go to Penang, Perak, the hospital moved, they stayed in Perak Road. Okay, you go to Alustar, it's called the Z ward. The ABCD ward, dipanggil Z ward. Bila hospital baru move, the psychiatric ward remain in the old ward. That's Malaysia punya story lah. Kota Baru, they say is in the hospital, but it's across the road.
Betul, macam Sungai Buloh semua.
Thank you very much. Miri, sama, they build near the mortuary. Everywhere. So when I went there, they kata, I don't want it to happen. You must work to remain in Sultanah Aminah. That's what I did. 1993. So I went to the medical department and said, I'm going to admit my patients into your ward. Is it okay? Luckily, the physician was good. Please, by all means. So we started, first time in the country, admitted psychiatric patients, irrespective of diagnosis, into the medical ward.
I see.
1993. So that's a revolution, so I started it. So in the end, after that, everybody said, oh, JB boleh buat, Lines pun boleh buat. So the first Minda nak ubah kat situ. Later on, when we had a lot of patients, so they built a ward.
Dedicated ward lah.
Dedicated ward later on, besides the medical ward. Bukan kat mortuary. Understand? That was the idea. That was the break point. So in Johor, it's everywhere. In Muar, it's in the hospital. In Batu Pahat, it's in the main hospital. Keluang, I didn't succeed.
Cuma the psychiatric wards are locked lah, Dr. Kadir.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
They cannot freely. I mean, once you're warded, you cannot go out.
You can actually. You should be able to, but unlikely because the staff are not trained to think that way.
You cannot go out at all.
So then that was the first thing that you can admit patients in medical wards. Of course, because they worry about the violence and so-called public safety. That's why they locked. We will come to that topic in a short while.
Right.
Okay, then after that, things didn't happen much. I went to England to do my PhD in women's in pubertal psychosis specifically. But that's not the main thing. That's a small part. That's just nak short sendiri je. Nak learn more about research than to say you got a PhD. Tak guna pun sekarang. But what I learned was that I was in South Birmingham. Nice new hospital. Okay. Then I heard some movement in North Birmingham. This is the movement that we were talking just now. There was this guy from Australia, I can't remember the name, John Gunn or somebody. He did a study to say that you can offer treatment at home, which is a better alternative to treatment in hospital. The first five studies that was published. So he went to Birmingham to start it. And I worked with him. Big guy. He carries in him medication everywhere so that he can give at home, no problem. So learn from him a little bit, and then we revolutionize. We say we go out. We don't want anybody to get admitted. That was the first thinking. Oh, this is something new. This is what I've been looking for. And then after that, 97, towards the end of my stay, 97, we say let's go to Trieste. So a group of us went to Trieste. We stayed in Trieste 3 months, and that's where we learned. Actually, there's this new thing that's there. Nobody knows about it because it's Italian in nature. Started from this great psychiatrist called Franco Brasaglia.
Yep.
And his wife is a politician. That's why he managed to bulldoze through the Law 180. Law 180 means after 1980, no more psychiatric admissions into psychiatric wards. Existing psychiatric patients should be placed outside.
Yep.
That's it. Two things. No more admission, existing patient, find them something outside. And then you work yourself towards it. So what they did was eventually they managed to make sure there's no more psychiatric ward. You can see the old psychiatric ward. They've converted to many things. They bagi secondary school, bagi university department. They develop into workshop, into bengkel kereta. They develop into factories making recycle things. Kan? Ambil payung-payung dekat Trieste tu Mayor donate, buat bags, buat purse and so on. So that was the first thing that I opened my mind. Okay, there's something rehabilitation. You can actually make people live differently. That's number one. So I brought that idea back. So everybody said I'm crazy. When I came back, 98, started to implement it. Say we can do. I started in JB. First thing I did was I said, I have a small ward, 10 beds. So I have a lot of patients. I need to treat them at home. So I started going out. So my boss called me up. He said, you can't go out. The law doesn't allow. I said, no, I know the law very well. The law is to tell me how to bring patients into a closed setting. But it doesn't tell me, and there's nothing there to say I cannot go to someone's house when I'm invited. So I just don't barge in. I just say, can I come to your place?
Betul.
Yes, please come in. Bila I come in, I can do whatever I like. Like I sit down and talk to you. I said, macam katakan this is your family member. I need to sedate her. You all agree, we sedate her. So it's more of negotiation. The word is negotiations, which they don't understand. Because psychiatric training is touch and go. See you, do mental state, okay, he's crazy. Bagi ubat ni. Okay. That's psychiatric training. But here you negotiate. You talk to people. You make them understand. That's how I started. That's how I started with this idea that there should be something different than what we are actually doing. Okay.
Alhamdulillah, very good. Thank you very much, Dr. Kadir. So, how it started was because you were posted to Tampoy during the time?
Oh,
Yeah.
as an SNMO.
SNMO. So that was how you saw orang pegang cangkul and everything, and they didn't want to come for dia punya
For review, they became human beings.
They became human beings, mashallah.
They had some purpose.
Betul. So I think it's so important to see where that came from, so that kita nampak Dr. Kadir punya pathway. I think what all of us can witness kan Dr. Kadir is sebenarnya is you come from a place where you acknowledge that you don't know everything tu satu.
Yes.
Tetapi also acknowledging that there must be a better way of doing this.
Very
kan,
good.
Dr. Kadir?
Yeah, you got it.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. So thank you so much. Now, Dr. Kadir, it's also interesting because, I met you the first time during our launch actually.
Yep,
in
2017.
2017 during World Mental Health.
Bald-headed, I just came back from Hajj.
You just came back from Hajj. So, it's officially 7 years this year. MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. Tapi 8 years of MIASA doing the work in the community, coming to where we are today. Tapi mungkinlah Dr. Kadir kalau nak kongsi sikit apa yang buat Dr. Kadir pada waktu tu nak menyokong ataupun orang kata percaya kepada perjuangan MIASA, ataupun were you skeptical during the time? What were your thoughts exactly? If you may share. Bismillah. Sebab Dr. Kadir kan tak kenal, you don't know me, you don't know my history.
I don't know anything.
You don't know anything about me.
Yeah.
Tapi you were there, okay, supporting this effort. So what was running
I
through your
think
mind?
you made the correct statement, supporting the effort. If you have listened, I'm the guy who wants to think out of the box.
Yep.
Something must be made different.
Yes.
From the time I became a psychiatrist, for a few years I was more or less disillusioned. Ni je ke? So when I was posted to JB, my pengarah actually said, okay, you're not the state psychiatrist, kena ada songkok dengan kasut, kena kilat selalu. Anytime you'll be called to the istana. That's 2 hour meeting, 1 hour 45 minutes was talking about what to do when I go to istana. Okay, but that 15 minutes changed me. I said, look, I'm not going to open another psychiatric ward because the place they'll put will be very far away near the kubur ke what.
Betul.
You try to work within your system. So I work with people.
Yes.
That's the first. So people, who are these people? Your colleagues lah, physician, obstetrician, surgeon, they become your friend. You have to jual minyak kat diorang. Sell them the idea of the new psychiatry. So that's what I did and continue to do.
Okay.
So the change when I came back from UK, I said, look, Trieste is something different. You need the thing that happened there was because we had a charismatic psychiatrist, powerful politician. Why they managed to change it politically lah. I don't have that. I'm the son of a labourer. If I'm like your father kan, military guy, ada banyak bourgeois connection. I don't have that. In Johor, you tahu lah, Johor, if you're not from WA, you're not JCS, you're nobody. That's me lah. Although they respect me for my ideas, that's it.
Yeah.
But my son will be good. My son because ni anak Dr. Kadir. Dia kena cakap siapa anak. Siapa anak siapa tu. That's Johor. Okay. Malaysia macam tu lah. So then I realised I need to work something different. And who are the difference? I met this, I can't remember the name, Nami punya president.
Oh, Nami, okay.
Siapa Lori something.
Okay. During the time lah.
During that time lah.
Okay.
In China of all places.
In China, not the US.
No. We were called for a meeting about medication.
Okay.
So during the meeting, I met this guy, Hong Kong psychiatrist, not Seng Lee. He's a little bit out of the box thinking. So he said, I want to meet the family support group president of America. So we had a lunch together. My friends all visited mental hospital.
Okay.
Because I don't want to visit. I work in a mental hospital. I've seen mental hospital. What's another one? Is just
The same thing.
bars and
Cells
people
and
having keys, The person having keys are the powerful ones there.
Yes.
Right, anyway, so met this lady. I said, look, I like your idea. How do you promote it to the family member? We call them, we train them up. So say, okay, I'm trying to develop materials. Difficult. So never mind, you take hours, keep quiet, you translate into Malay. So that's what I did. I got the NAMI punya 12 modules, brought it to Malaysia, translated it into Malay and English, and started the first family support group workshop.
I see.
And the first 20 families graduated. That's how I started. Then I realized families alone is not that. Families alone is important, but not that important. You need the survivors. You need the pejuang lah. Okay. So try to find pejuang. So 2003, 2000, yeah, before MIASA existed, I was looking for this group of pejuang. When in the general hospital tak dapat. They come and go. A few ladies came, they didn't sustain. And in mental hospital led by a social worker. They all were interested nak nyanyi, nak pergi sana, nak pergi sini. We organized trips, family day. Still didn't pick the thing that I wanted them to see. When I was in Sarawak, sama juga. They want us, they like handouts lah. Kita bagi kerja diorang nak, kita bagi kantin so jangan diorang buat. Beyond that tak ada. I want them to come and challenge me. They don't. Okay. So after then I started Minda Johor, Minda Malaysia. All this is to see that things should move in a different direction. And I made the family support group members of the Malaysian Mental Health
Association.
Advisory.
Advisory.
Mental Health yang advisory group tu.
Yeah, advisory council.
Half of them were family members. All I asked to put that.
Oh, I see.
They were supposed to come and agitate the council so that they direct themselves towards that woman. Later on, I realized they became like professional thinking. So a little bit disappointed lah. So that's what I came from after high school. Kata ni tak jadi kat Malaysia. I'm not seeing where it should go. I thought it go well with the family support group. Ada ramai inside the mental health council. They should be supporting families. They should be supporting patients. But they were becoming like professionals rather than think like family members who's struggling to make a life. Tak nampak jalan situ. So when you came here, I said, okay, let's give this a try because you are a little bit different. I saw, I came there as a replacement to the president and Dr. Hazli.
Betul.
Okay, dia kata datang Dr. Kadir. Okay, and then I saw that, all right, something different. The one that struck me was that you had that tasbih in your hand. You had that counter. Okay, this is different. Let's see how it goes.
Right.
So I was start off skeptical. Tengok dia orang ni ambil tak this idea that they can make a difference.
I see.
That's how I started and said, Alhamdulillah. And especially you have a very strong and supportive husband. Senang nak cakap pada dia.
Betul.
Pada cakap satu je dia faham. Immediately, because he doesn't think like a professional.
Betul.
He thinks like a family member. That's what I've been looking all this time. So it's not about you, it's about him. When you remember when we came back from Italy,
yes, from Trieste.
we had a conversation about the clubhouse.
Yes.
You know what I told one? He said, yes, I now understand it. This is to be run by us and decided by us and led by us. That's the statement that said, okay, you're ready.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Dr. Kadir. I think one of the things that I have to say during the time kan Dr. Kadir is, I think it's a couple of things. Satu, having you there really helped sebab I have a reference. Macam if I hit a stumbling block, if I'm not sure, if I feel very small, which I always do, especially in sessions with doctors, obviously, because even if they ask you something, they ask just to put you down, not because they really want to hear what you have to say. And I think that is also one of the reasons, kan Dr. Kadir, till today I have this challenge, kan, and you can also provide your feedback adalah, it's difficult for me to bring other peers in the circle because I feel it becomes detrimental to them. Okay. And I tried in the beginning, macam contoh lah, when people invite us, then I say, okay, why don't you go ataupun come with me? And every time bila kita balik ke Malaysia, then they relapse ataupun reoccurrence of episodes happen ataupun diorang tak nak datang balik dah kepada mental health space. And so because of that, I always carry that fear so much in me. And it's true enough, even when I send people just to go for a very short meeting with the professionals, they are impacted greatly. So it's not so easy. Sebab tu banyak orang selalu kata, oh Puan Anita, this NGO comes up and then dibungkus contohnya. Ataupun this peer mula-mula macam dia advocate so greatly, lepas tu dia tak keluar dah contohnya Dr. Kadir. So maybe some words of wisdom kan from you Dr. Kadir. Of course, being a psychiatrist mungkin tak sama dengan a pejuang sendiri sebab, and the reason why I'm asking you this, one, because you're from the inside. Dua adalah, as a peer, walaupun I'm leading the NGO, I have my moments in the sense where, sometimes you feel like giving up. Sometimes you feel, how much longer can you do this? And then the resistance is sometimes so hard that tak tahu macam mana nak move forward. Now, that's one part of it. The other part of it that people also don't see is bila kita NGO ni Dr. Kadir, kita dalam kalau there is a strata, kita paling rendah sebenarnya. NGO satu paling rendah. Dua, kita NGO kesihatan mental lagilah rendah. So orang dah tak pandang lagi benda tu. And so you feel, why is there even resistance? Because being you, declaring openly that you have a mental health condition is already a struggle, and now you are leading it, which then becomes another big struggle. And then you come out and then you try to harmonize, you want to do this together, and then people are just waiting to see you fail, in other words. Okay, so talk to me about it.
Okay, very good. We are trailblazers.
We are.
You and I've stopped. I've stopped because I've retired.
But you're still advising.
Yes.
Which is so important.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to the family support group because they're more or less stagnant now.
Betul.
You need this.
Stagnant, it is.
It is very stagnant now because nobody wants to take over. The one in Johor where I started, Mr. How, we are still very good friends. No one wants to take over because they don't train.
Betul.
So that's the key. You need to train your pejuang-pejuang. Okay? You need to train them to be advocates. Just like I trained the family members to be advocates. They started well because I was doing it personally.
Betul.
All out, pushing them in front. So that's the first key. You need to train yourselves to be as good, maybe better, because you see things in a different perspective.
Which isn't easy as well.
No, it's hard work.
It's hard.
Sometimes it needs a Robin Hood like me to start. I think maybe, I don't know, I'm getting older.
Tapi again, like what you said, your advantage is because you're a psychiatrist. You see,
At that point,
sebab when you're a psychiatrist, then you have the upper hand.
Yes.
When you come in as a peer, orang dah nampak you bawah.
I understand. That's why I said the first thing in Malaysia is the feudal system.
The feudal system.
You need
betul.
to break it.
Yes.
But you use the law.
Okay.
You use the law. What's in the law? What's in the law?
Regulations, you mean?
Yeah. What's in the mental health law?
Okay.
They have this category called Friends of Mental Health.
Okay.
So use that. That's not been used at all. It is there. I don't know for what purpose it is there. Use that. It's in the law. We are in the mental health law. So you try to add on that into the regulations part. When I was doing the regulation part, I tak nampak these peers can come up.
I see.
Tak nampak. Pasal kita dulu psychiatrist yang duduk buat the regulations.
Caregivers were in kan during
Caregivers were in, but they were
peers
just silent.
cukup syarat lah.
Cukup syarat mesyuarat. They were silent bystanders. They would not advocate really. They just, yeah doctor, you're right. You know what you're the one who trained us, doctor. You know what you're doing. Benda which I didn't like. I didn't like that. I want them to have an idea, doctor. Do you know how difficult it is to look after my son who's hallucinating? What do I do? That kind of thing. Then the law is two things. One is supposed to prescribe. One is supposed to advocate. Kalau advocate tu will be broad. Yes. Prescribe means do A, B, C, D. They're very good in prescribing. Okay, when we decriminalize suicide, what do? They created this so-called suicide crisis counselors, which is
like you said, what barbaric law?
Correct. Which is more barbaric than the suicide thing. Okay. Right. So train yourselves very well.
Okay.
Not like professionals, but like pejuang. How to advocate. Okay. Number one. Number two, keep exposing. You can't run away from fear. Fear has to be addressed. Keep exposing. When I started this, I was many journeys, felt that why am I doing this? Number one. But everyone else, my family members, all saw that this is the correct thing to do. They all supported me. Children, wives, this is the right thing to do. Alhamdulillah.
So important.
So important. So I went on the track. Of course, when you're doing it, you have all sorts of tomahan, or I doing blah, blah, blah. Ignore that. These are all noises for people who actually are not doing anything.
Yeah.
Okay. So ignore them as noises. Okay. Then keep on come back. When you have peers who are having doubt, call them back. Bagi semangat balik. Tell them the roadmap. We started this way. This is where we are now. Where do you want to go? So you need that. Last time we had Trieste lah. I had Trieste. Each time I am in doubt, I go back.
Yeah.
So meet about 200 people who think the same way.
That's the whole reason why I asked you recently.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to go back. I asked Roberto because a group of psychiatrists wanted to go. So no, nothing there now. The same things are there, but they cannot. They are unable to promote it because they are not supported.
Yeah.
They haven't gone back, but they are stagnant now. Not like Malaysia. Malaysia is going back.
Tapi who's heading it right now?
I don't know, some university professor.
Oh, I see.
The guys that was leading the movement for taking the psychiatric patients out of prisons and out of forensic hospitals, they made him retire. Delacroix, the former director. Pepe Delacroix. But they, to their credit, they have this, they call RIMS. RIMS is nursing homes for forensic patients. So it's a high risk. If you work in mental hospitals, you see that about 200 of their patients are so-called former criminals. They committed crime, but they were mentally ill at that time.
Yes.
They're housed there forever.
Oh, okay.
Very difficult to go out. So these people in Italy show that you can actually bring them out. They can actually be better. I have done this in Kuching and in Permai. Taken them out. And now in Kuching, I don't know what's happening because the forensic ward was full. So I taken them out, skate, give them work, give them one guy. Literally, this is Ivan guy. He murdered his family from voices. He's well. So I've asked him, you can go out to town. Because if you go to Kuching, the mental hospital is here, the town is here.
Yeah.
Walk to town and come back. No problem. Can a doctor? Can. Nobody has done this. I'm allowing you. So he went back and then he sat down in the middle crying. Why? He doesn't know how to come back. First time taste of freedom. So dekat Permai, my forensic patient dapat keluar, dapatkan freedom, kahwin, buka business. Those kind of stories. Those are the extreme ends. These are people who did not get proper treatment. That's why they end up committing crime. Yeah. That's why they end up in a forensic ward. Not their fault. It's the government's fault for not providing proper treatment. That's your challenge. Yeah. That make sure, like I saw somewhere, everyone matters. That's your challenge. Everyone matters. When I first started coming back to rehabilitation, when I first started rehabilitation, it was in the hospital, sheltered workshops. Because why? No one told me anything different. That's it. You listen to your OTs. Then I realized they're not doing correctly because I keep talking to patients. Why are you coming here? Oh, nak makan. One patient in Kuching really opened my eyes. You are a trained teacher. Now you don't work. Your brother comes every week to give you makan. Why you come here? Doktor, saya mau cuci mata. In Sarawak style. What's cuci mata? Wash the eyes.
Wash the eyes.
Wash the eyes. Why you want to wash the eyes? There's a men's term lah. Cuci mata nak tengok perempuan cantik-cantik. That's his only opportunity, tengok perempuan cantik-cantik from other wards. Okay, such a pathetic life, kan? But then I realized that he wants is more socialization.
Okay.
So you don't socialize in a sheltered workshop. There are more beautiful girls outside there. So gave him the opportunity to work out. Then he said, doctor, why nobody told me that I can work outside? So that's how I started to challenge. We start finding work outside. So that's when the supported employment came. I closed down the shelter workshop. told my old occupational therapy, it doesn't work. I don't want anything that doesn't work. So that was my first challenge lah. We managed it.
Tapi kan Dr. Kadir, it's so interesting tau when you say this, because I think that a lot of, okay, contoh kita bagi contoh mentari. I'm not bashing mentari. I'm just saying what it is, my own experience when I first went to mentari. Okay, so coming into the space, don't know anything. I just have a lived experience. I'm just offering a solution that worked for me. So that was how I started MIASA. So when I first went to Mentari, and you know, there was a big hype about Mentari. Oh, Mentari ni rehab center bagus untuk para pejuang. Tapi kebanyakannya, people will tell me it's for more severe chronic mental health peers. So I pun macam okay. So when we went, and when I saw them doing the work inside Mentari, so I'm like, this is it. This is what you're doing for people. I mean, in dalam hati Nita lah, this is what I'm saying to myself. And I said, why do you think that people heal doing this? I couldn't grasp benda tu sebenarnya, Dr. Kadir. So then when I met you and then you spoke about sheltered workshops, I was like, oh my God, this is really what it is, right here. So sebenarnya, my point is, Dr. Kadir, mungkin orang pergi ke Mentari, dia pun fikir macam Nita. Tapi mungkin dia tak berani nak menyuarakan. Mungkin dia tak berani nak challenge the current system. Betul? And mungkin dia tak ada reference point. Mungkin ada tempat untuk nak tanya, betul ke benda ni? Is this right? You know, I feel disturbed about this. Right? And then you interview some of the people in there, they say, oh, this helps me. Because they don't know any better. Because this is all that is being given. So macam mana dia nak nampak benda luar? Macam Dr. Kadir kata tadi lah, is a very good example. Oh, I'm now in forensic. You know, I murdered someone as an example. Oh, I have another chance. Oh, I can actually leave this place. Sebab that option was never given to them, Dr. Kadir. That is why.
You're right. Option never given.
Never given.
Why? Because professionals take the easy way out.
Betul. Shortcuts.
Always shortcut. You talk mad, I give you injection.
Betul.
Instead you talk mad, I listen through your madness.
Betul.
That's what I learned in Italy. It's art, it's negotiating.
Betul.
You can talk mad for how many hours?
Betul.
16 hours, 24 hours. I have that time. Why? I'm paid. You're not paid. Your family, I'm paid to listen to you.
Yes.
Listen. Listen. At the end of the 16 hours, you'll even take poison from my hands. I'm telling you from experience. The other day I had a guy, the neurologist rejected him, talk too much. The physician rejected him, neurosurgeon, because he talks a lot. He's got a lot of things to say. He's got dementia, by the way.
Okay.
So I sat down, he talked to me about 4 hours. The wife was there observing me. And I'm listening like this. Why? Because he needs to have his peace. Let him have it. And that was the only 4 hours. After that, every session was 5 to 10 minutes.
Dia dah habis
nak cerita. So somebody has listened to all his grievances. Same thing every time.
Yes.
Same thing. And if you're not happy with I'm going to tell, you have the chance of getting a second opinion.
Betul.
That's your every right.
Yes.
Okay. So that's number one. You must challenge the thought all the time. So Mentari, if you read the law, read it.
Okay.
It's community mental health center.
Yes, it is.
It's supposed to replace the hospital. It's supposed to replace the psychiatric nursing home. There is a clause there. It's allowed to lodge patients not more than 23 hours. So what is it? It's something for you to stay.
Yalah, like a hotel.
Like a hotel. Thank you very much. But except in Masai, which I built purposely built. I built because the DG at that time trusted me. I'm giving you money for this. Be it one to be the template. Okay, I'll come back to that, how sad the story is. And Pekananas. Pekananas was under public health as former PSR. We changed it to Mentari. So you go and see Pekananas, it's not like the other Mentari. Pekananas. Hentian Damai Pekananas. So that one purposely built. When I send an OT there, mula-mula dia kata, doktor, mula-mula the OT nak buat bakery, nak jual. Okay, tak ada masalah. Then we said, work with the family. So one mother came in, I want to have a sewing machine. Nak jahit tepi. So that I can sell, boleh train. OT dia kata, tak ada kerja lah, Dr. Kadir. Kat Pekananas, small town. I said, okay, I'm coming next week. So datang, dah review patient semua, okay, come, let's go for lunch. Bawa lah diorang kat lunch. Kan? I have the luxury of a driver kan, bawa driver. So pergi kat kedai mamak tu makan, tanya ini ada mau orang kerja ke? Mau cuci pinggan? Berapa mau? 2 mau. Jalan sikit. Jalan sikit nak tunjuk kat dia, you actually should walk, look for jobs.
Yeah, oh I see. Okay.
Jalan sikit ada kedai stationery. You mau kerja ke? Ada, mau angkat barang-barang. Dah 3. So in that short time, ada 6 open kerja kosong. These are low-end jobs. We call it entry-level jobs. Entry-level. Bukan pegawai tinggi. That's what we want, because most of our patients standard 6 pun tak lepas. Kan? So hari ni kan dah dapat 6 entry-level. So you should be walking. You drive your car through Pekanan, all the small town, mesti ada kerja kosong. True enough. Memang ada. So that's we also, maknanya kita ada bakery, kita ada outside enterprises, we also have jobs available for you when you want it. So that's the mind shift, that's the shift. And that's what mentari should have. But if you have professional, ni senang kan. Kalau saya macam kat klinik, duduk kat klinik, Dr. Kadir nak jumpa you, datang klinik kan. When I say I can come to your house, that's a big shift.
Betul.
That's a big shift. So if I can say I can find a job for you near your house, it's a big shift. That's what they need. It's in the law. The law is in the hands of people who know it.
That's true.
So kalau doang kita tahu, then you all should read the law equally, because the law is made for everyone. It's in the book. The regulations are there. Nothing secret. So what's rehabilitation? Rehabilitation is a few things. Number 1, the correct medication. In some patients, not all. Number 2, family education. Number 3, patient education or patient empowerment. Number 4, get proper jobs. Number 5, get proper education. And number 6, proper accommodation. Then you rehabilitation maknanya apa? Coming back, habilitate kan. You come back to your previous thing as much as possible. And medication is not the answer. So so the thing is training. You train in new things. Train new things. Learn the law first. That's the law that we have. Law is made by psychiatrists.
Betul.
That law, the new law tu, Dr. Aziz and gang held it secret until 2001. You know what happened to 2001 before the law? I started home treatment before the law. I was called by my boss. You're going against the law. I say that the old law doesn't say this. Why? Because in the new law, it allows you to go. So I've already preempted the law. Faham tak? So dia nak marah tak jadilah sebab I dah buat. Who I got in front? My DG. Because there was one pengarah kata, this fellow is doing community work lah. Should support him. Because that guy from Sarawak, he realized you can't bring people into hospital. Sarawak is too big, services. You have to bring treatment to their houses. Baru jadi. Kan? So bring the idea to Malaysia. I was doing it, so he encouraged me. So when I told the DG, I'm going to people's houses, have you spoken to your colleagues with this? I say, I have. What do they say? And they're not very supportive. So he saw my boss and told my boss, don't support. And my boss called me and scolded me. I said, I don't care. I'm going to people's house as long as they invite me.
With consent.
With consent. I just don't barge in, So that's how it started. So now for you coming back, kalau bila you dah rasa jalan buntu, it is expected, Anita.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm retired. You don't have a big support. I'm from outside. Right now, I'm hearing in Permai, they're going backwards. Why? They use money as an excuse.
No money.
They use money as an excuse. I've worked in the government for so long, money is always used as an excuse. Give you an example, masa jatuh 1998, jatuh crisis. Financial crisis. We were told, to manage accordingly, use appropriate. So one of my doctors, I like her until today, stood up. Can you tell us what's appropriate? Because every time I see a patient with headache, when I order certain tests, it's always appropriate. I'm not going to order inappropriate tests. Diam pengarah tu. So I stood up and said, we can be like Indonesia. We can say headache, no investigation. But they must come from the management and not from the doctors. Headache, first line treatment, Panadol. Hypertension, only one antihypertensive. Diabetes, only one anti-diabetic. The rest, if you want, you buy yourself. Are we willing to say that? If you're willing to say that, you remove of your mission, vision statement, providing the best, optimal care, buang semua. We provide what we can provide. That's your mission and vision. Cukup. But they're not willing to do that. Cannot, Dr. Kadir, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then we still do the same thing. Money, your job to find.
Yeah.
Not my job. Don't tell me how to treat my patients well. Money is your issue. True enough, 1998, what happened? In the first 9 months, no money. After that, boom, berlambat duit. Same every year. So money is used as an excuse. If they don't want you to do things, mana benda tu luar daripada their thinking, they have no money. Not their priority, that's the word. So they use money as an excuse. So as pejuang, as peers, don't accept it. We are in Malaysia. Healthcare is high standard. Where they got their money from is none of our business. They will get the money. Okay? Because I've sat with meetings with finances. Okay? Suddenly, when you're given a certain X amount, towards the end of the year, you still have some balance.
Yeah.
Despite spending what you like, you still have some balance. They got the best time was last time. 1 year. He decided to give the whole year's budget in advance. Wow, you don't have to worry. After that, they realised tak boleh. Government sermon must treat like schoolboy. Dia minta RM1 bagi 10% dulu. Habis 10%, kau nak berapa sen lagi? Kau nak 90%? Okay, I bagi you 20%. Towards the end of the year, you still get 95 sen. They save 5 sen for something else. That's Malaysian budget lah. So don't worry about money. There is an excuse. Don't listen to it. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Medication-wise, the money spent on medication, I say fine, we are not going to worry about medication. That one, let the doctors decide what medication to use. So don't worry. We want to worry about other things.
Yep.
Mana family support group run by the hospital, by the mental health mentari, for example. Mana patient support group run by the mentari. Okay, the peer support group is something else. The patient education group, that means they come patients in to educate them about their illnesses, like breast cancer. Psychoeducation, mana? You're looking for that.
Yes.
Mana? Because all these are evidence-based.
Betul.
Mana supported employment? Supported employment, working outside.
Yeah.
You find a job outside. Mana supported accommodation?
Betul.
Tak ada. Sekat Johor je.
Betul.
I'm not talking big. Johor je. Johor supported accommodation. The state SUK, state secretary tengok successful, they want to give more. Orang aja tak ada nak tolong buat. It's all from the mental hospital dah exhausted mental hospital. Bukan itu tak cukup orang nak pergi support these people. This way you can come in. You say, okay, MIASA will take up 4 or 8 units in Johor. It's a PPRT lah, flat.
PPR.
Dia akan bagi. Okay, we might work together.
Okay, boleh.
Okay, so that's the way forward now. Because dalam buntu, the psychiatrists are trained biological. If you look at UKM, USM, semua biological training. Maknanya the brain is a brain disease.
Yep.
And you know the decade of the brain? 2000. Check failure. Because why? They're not finding answers. All are negative answers. Oh, the brain memang some chromosomal anomaly, some biological anomalies. Tak dapat treatment outcome lagi. Sama macam dementia. That time they thought dementia, they can find the finding. They thought it was tau protein. Before all those things, I've been long enough in this that they're not going to find the answer because the brain is too complex to understand.
Betul.
Okay, let's not understand the brain. Let's understand the behavior that the brain causes.
Yes.
Okay, so why? Because we know from the brain aspect, there are 2 things that's happening. One is neuroplasticity. Yes. That means you have one area that's not working well, other areas will take over.
Betul.
That's one. Number 2, you have neurogenesis. More new brain cells are growing.
Betul.
And how do they grow? Not a single medication.
Betul.
It's lifestyle.
Betul.
Proper sleep, exercise, talk to people, fasting, kurang makan and so on. So use that ideas.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting, Dr. Kadir, just on the last point too, before we go for our breaks, about when I first learned about neuroplasticity and then neurogenesis, because I learned about neuroplasticity first, then only I learned about neurogenesis. Tapi of course benda tu berkait. So what happened was I had a conversation with this one doctor, and then when I spoke to her about it, lepas tu dia macam, because when I first understood neuroplasticity, I was like, this is the answer, macam tu kan. Sebab dia macam wow moment for me personally. Then when I spoke to this one doctor, she was like, really, Nita, you think this is something that we should be talking about? I said, yes, because you have to understand, when you are going through a mental health struggle, you feel no hope.
Yep.
Neuroplasticity gives you the hope.
Correct.
Neurogenesis gives you the hope.
More hope.
So macam, why are we not having this conversation, Dr. Kadir?
Exactly.
Definitely, yes. Talk about it more. Everyone needs to talk about it.
Yeah.
Sebab hope tu dah satu benda yang akan pegang
Exactly.
the peers so that they know, okay, I can get through this eventually.
Yes.
Macam tu. Okay, so thank you very much, Dr. Kadir. So we will take a break, guys. Lama pula kita punya first segment ni. Right here with Dr. Abdul Kadir in Real Conversations with Anita. We'll be right back. Okay, Dr. Kadir. So tadi kita dah banyak dah bincang, Dr. Kadir pun dah kupas, on your experiences and insights. Okay. Now we want to talk a little bit about apa sebenarnya cabaran Malaysia untuk kita nak melaksanakan deinstitutionalization in mental health care. Because like you said, no matter what, we still want the institutions there. Apa yang kekangan tu apa sebenarnya, Dr. Kadir? You said money is not a problem. We shouldn't be thinking about money. Government should be providing the money. And we know that we are, our budget isn't enough. Maknanya the allocation isn't given enough to mental health. Kita tengok over the years, 1+% to mental health. Okay. Obviously it's not enough. Kita semua tahu. And then the bulk of the budget pun pergi kepada these 4 mental institutions when you can actually bring it to the community where majority of the people are in the community who are struggling, Dr. Kadir. And of course, recovery is in the community anyhow. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what are the challenges sebenarnya? Why are we not heading that way?
So the first is what you mentioned just now, the large mental hospitals. Large is definitely defined by anything more than 50 or 100.
Betul.
So you've got six large ones. Tampoi, Tanjung Rambutan,
Sentosa.
Kuching, Sentosa, Bukit Padang, Kota Baru, about 100 beds.
Oh, Kota Baru 100.
Penang, about 80 beds.
Oh, besar.
Besar. Okay, so these are the large places. So these have to go.
Yes.
Have to go means the acute care. They are already housing lots of chronic. Macam I was in Permai. We managed, when I first came, it was 1,004. We managed to bring it down to 600.
Okay, mashallah.
And the way to bring it down is, number one, find families for the chronic patient. Actively start looking for families. Number two, acutely ill, you decide they don't get in. Number three, those who are in, you decide they don't get readmitted. So that's the first step. Then this large hospital will slowly go down.
Tapi that's the thing. Then a lot of times they will say, where do these people go?
That's why you have to find. Number one is families lah. They work at home. Number two, they need a place to stay. That's why you need the supported accommodation.
Betul.
Okay. Number three, they need proper rehabilitation, not shelter workshop.
Betul.
They need work. So you this all goes in tangent. Number one. So the large mental hospitals have to reduce. So once they reduce, at the same time,
Yang lain kena.
the lain kena naik. So that what is the line? This is the Brazilian model.
Yes.
They had the same problems. 35,000 bedded psychiatric hospitals. 5,000 all over, but 30 of them. So they decided in 2001, same time like in Malaysia, that they're going to build CAPS, community in Portuguese lah.
Yep.
Community centers all over Brazil, 2,000, 3,000 of them, to replace the 35 hospitals. Why? People can go. If they need overnight stay, they can stay there, but not too long. Okay, they got like hotel lah. Check in and use hostel. Go in the evening. The next morning you check out, go and find work and so on. The answers are all there. We are not thinking in that manner. Okay, why? There is usual excuse, orang tak cukup, duit tak cukup. And because the duit is in mental hospitals. And you know what the mental hospitals use the money for?
Yeah.
Can you guess what they use the money for? Let's say Permai had 40 million budget. 20 million goes to?
Revamp food.
I wish it was for food. It's for
Gaji.
maintenance, the
Oh,
5
yelah, maintenance
services.
lah.
The 5 maintenance service. And they are not properly maintained.
They're not.
They are not. You go, Permai, new building, lot of breakdowns. They are not properly maintained. But the money goes there. Okay. Right? Salaries. That's the next big budget. Then food is dismal. If you calculate, it's very poor. And then medication. But they want to cut down things that they can easily cut down. Cut down on the food, kurangkan quality, cut down on medication. Can you use this? Can you use that? Now in Permai, what they're using, cut down on the mileage claims. Staff go to patient's house. Oh, too much. Cut down on those things that are more important rather than other things. So that's one. You need to make sure these large mental hospitals get smaller and smaller. Literally get smaller. Once the money you get smaller, that money must be siphoned to somewhere where it's needed. Mentaris. So that mentaris have more staff, have more space to do what's real rehabilitation. What's real rehabilitation? Family education, family support group, patient education, patient support group. The word is support. They can't leave them alone. You need to organize them. Simple thing, organize family support group ni. Is it simple? It's not simple. You have to find the families. Everywhere I go in Malaysia, I've been everywhere. They can't find no family members. So I have to sit down and say, look, you see the outpatient clinic, there are 50 patients. Every single one will have a family.
Yes.
You need some personalized approach. It's marketing approach lah ni.
Betul.
You need a personalized approach. You just can't letak satu flyer and expect 2,000 families to come. They don't. Okay, you have to personalize. You call, you make sure they are valued to come and find ways and means to make them come, they will come. They don't do this because they don't see that it's part of their job. So that's the first change that you need. And the large mental hospitals have to reduce. And at the same time, you build the network of existing structures that are out there. You have to build them. So it's quite good right now. The mentaris are increasing, not to the extent that you want. So you won't see any impact. It's just an added burden because they're not doing anything extra except that you're saying there are some mentaris. So it's just like a sheltered workshop instead of the hospital, outside the hospital. So they're not having that impact. So that need to change. How do you change that?
For me, it's always the people in it.
Yes.
You have to have the right people. Dr.
So
Kadir.
you need to train family members in the new ideas, which is use the law. This law, maknanya that section 35, I think, 35, 36, which is on mentari, propagate it to every single family member and peer. Okay, open it up and read it and go to the regulations and read it in the Mental Health Act. So you don't need anything new, it's already there. I think it's like 35, 36, 37. That's on mentari, community mental. Read it and understand it. This is what we want. And this is translated into this, in the regulations. Right? It also in part, I think 37 says patients are allowed to be lodged not more than 23 hours. The only place that has that is Masai. I build it up.
Mentari lain tak ada.
Tak ada. Masai ada, kita build a 2-story structure. Atas untuk lelaki 4 orang, bawah untuk perempuan 4 orang. I got transferred to Sarawak. What happened to that mentari? The health people took it over because it was not fully utilised by psychiatry. Diorang tak nampak. They were working in the mental hospital, they were working in the general hospital, institutionalized lah. Tak nampak benda tu kat tengah-tengah bandar, nice place, taken over by maternal and child health. And today, when I came back as pengarah, I want that building back. I even fought with the public health people. You all like the Yahudi dengan Arab lah. The Yahudi dengan camel. Kan? Slowly you get chased out. The Yahudi come and takes over. They got very angry. But I said, that's true. It's built purposefully under Mental Health Act untuk mental health rehabilitation. But now becomes an office for physiotherapists, office, not even service, office for physiotherapists, and they do refuse to move. Despite getting the state pengarah to say this is mental health mentari.
Center lah.
That's Malaysia. Malaysia maknanya a possession is you macam squatter lah. You datang itu you tak boleh dikeluarkan. Sama lah kat Malaysia. It's there, but the rest of mentari they build like shelter workshop. So you need to learn the law because that's powerful. And you demand what's yours because it's for the pejuang. It's not for me. We built it because we know there's a need for it. Why is it there? Okay, there is a need for this community mental health
Tapi I
centers.
think one of the challenges also, I mean, because kita pun dah lama lah kan dengan mentari, is sebab mentari ni semua built, within the proximity of the hospital. So bila orang luar nak masuk mentari tu je tak boleh dah. Because you have to be registered under the hospital, and then hospital yang the mentari is attached to, then only you can.
The law, that's why the law says the mentari is under the direct own authority of the psychiatric department of the hospital.
Betul.
I mean, the funds come from there.
Yes.
Okay. But the running of the mentari is not by that hospital. It's by the mentari itself. Just to give it some structure.
Tapi it is tau Dr. Kadir actually.
Yeah. That's the
Sebab-
regulation. That's the guideline lah.
Sebab
okay.
kan the
Guidelines can be changed.
psychiatrists yang datang and tu semua kan are under the
That's why it comes under, last time it came under health. Now it's coming under Department of Psychiatry for the support. Last time what happened Pekanan, because it was public health, they only gave one staff twice a week. So macam mati lah. Now when we change the law, it comes under psychiatry, it should be functioning every day. But still work like last time, depend. Ni seminggu 3 kali je bagi.
Betul. Dia not all mentari. Some mentari 2 kali seminggu.
And what's the problem there?
2 kali seminggu macam mana orang nak pergi?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So it's like before.
Yeah,
so
sama.
what's the problem there?
Then orang pun tak tahu macam hari ni mentari buka ke?
Buka ke tak?
Tak tahu.
So I'm asking this, what's the problem there?
Then how can you get a sustained recovery?
Thank you very much.
and support.
Why is there this stupid clause there that you can have people who can lodge there 23 hours? Bila you not materialize it,
Betul.
you should be looking into. That's why I'm asking you. The peers, families have to read the law to the letter, because it's already there supporting you, and read the regulations. They've made some guidelines, but guidelines are made by
Yalah.
humans. You can change. They want to keep changing guidelines. It doesn't matter. But the law they don't change yet.
Okay.
So my idea is now have that power to know the law just like everyone else. They are providing that, ikut suka hati dia. Why I don't have staff? But if you go and audit their staff, banyak yang tak buat kerja. Banyak yang tak buat kerja.
And NGO ni pula kita autonomy kita kurang. So even when we, as an example, kita nak visit peers dekat hospital pun susah Dr. Kadir sekarang. Very difficult.
In the law, there is this friends of mental health. So you should be able to visit people according to this protection of the friends of the mental health.
So how do we harmonise?
Okay, number one. So from peer perspective lah,
Yes.
from the professional perspective ni dah berbuih. The training in some universities are good, some are not good. UKM is not bad. They had some good training, but I don't know what's happening after Prof. Marhani retired.
Betul.
Okay. UM is hopeless because they only train biological.
Yes.
They give the psychosocial, spiritual lip service sahaja lah. So they don't know the psychosocial, spiritual part. So family support group tak ada, patient education tak ada. You just medication A to Z, whatever lah. Okay. And they think it's a miracle. It's not. So that's the training is one part. So we need to change that mindset. Number two, peers need to be empowered.
Yeah.
And you must go back and do you have that Mental Health Act book?
Yes, of course.
Go back and read that section. Read the regulations. Then use it line by line. Okay? Educate.
To be honest, Dr. Kadir, I used to know the Mental Health Act well. And then I forgot about it after a while being in the space. So now I need to revisit it again.
Because you're facing problem, they use the act
Betul.
against you.
Betul.
And now use the act against them back.
Got it.
Like how I started home treatment by saying that it's not in the law, so I can do what I like. But now it's already in the law.
Yeah.
It's in the law. You read the community mental health team. It should comprise of many people, and the idea is to treat people in the community, not in the hospital. It's already in the law, so you have to use that to so you harmonize that.
Okay.
You don't want a new law. It's already there. Make sure you make sure it works in your favor. That's number one. Number two, get people from every section. We don't want to fight.
Yes.
Okay, we don't want to fight. What I did last time was I wait for people to retire.
Okay.
Okay. There are some people you know are difficult. You don't want to hurt them, and then they're neither your friend nor your enemy.
Betul.
They're there because they had that power. So leave them alone.
Okay. Wait till they retire.
Wait till they retire. Then you get so you try to identify who are the new ones. Work with these new ones. Okay, because these new ones may have new ideas. So I think now is a good time because the old ones have retired. Okay, the was not so, the current one is not bad. Not bad. Objective, but you have younger ones that you can work on them, get them in as well. Help them, let them get help. These are the professionals.
Okay.
Okay, the profession is not only psychiatrists.
Of course.
The next professional you have to work is occupational therapists. These are a big group of people who are difficult. Okay, but they're very good people among them as well. Find the good people. And who are the good people? I think the one that's trained in UITM, they are good. They understand this peer involvement. This working outside, the professional is just facilitating. So you must find people to support you.
Okay.
You must find them. Okay. That's the money. Don't work alone. Don't work alone. So first, understand the law. Train yourself in the law. 2, don't work alone. Identify key people that's going to help you in future. Number 3, I keep talking your group of peers. Train them well. Okay, train them a few things like human skills, relapses, what to do, okay, coping skill, DBT, dialectic behavior therapy. Make sure everybody knows what to do. What to do, how to be mindful, how to do grounding, how to manage emotions, how to have pleasant events. Train them well in all that. Okay. And lastly, since you say you are going to have burnout once in a while, regularly have conferences lah.
That's what we're doing.
Yep, that's
November.
right. Conferences is not no big deal. It's just one message. Now your Six Sigma, but it's a get together and a reward for the peers for doing good work.
The thing is, right now, our challenger is funding lah. So I think right now is harder because of everything. So we are very tight at the moment. So those of you who are listening, if you know of anyone, any companies, corporations that would be supportive of such an effort, we look forward to that. And we are also looking for sponsors for B40s, so that we can enable B40s to also have the opportunity to come and attend, peers and families and friends as well, inshallah. Okay, Dr. Kadir, maybe sebab kita dah overrun ni, we go straight to the closing. Maybe Dr. Kadir, a little bit of maybe your wisdom, words of advice to both mental health advocates that are doing this work in the space, and also maybe the new young psychiatrists. They are the ones up and coming. What would you say?
Number 1, the young psychiatrists are scared. They're scared to voice out because there are about 400-500 of them. The ones that work with government wants to slowly go up the ladder, so they don't want to rock the boat. So get them to work quietly with you. Okay, that's one. Mana quiet lah, kita kena buat macam how the Abbasiyah movement work, how they topple down the Umayyad government. Hush. Work every Friday they wear black to know that okay, you are with me. I come and talk slowly with you, and after the movement gathers a snowball effect, then you topple it. We don't want to topple. We just want the ideas to roll with just the same idea. So find these young people and talk to them. So engage with them regularly. Don't antagonize. Kalau dia tak kasih masuk, yes, tak apa. Mana if there's a peer there, they want to visit, they don't allow, keep quiet. There's a small battle, let them win. Let them win small battle. You want to win the war. That's number 1. Number 2 is you yourself, the peers lah. I'm talking about the pejuang-pejuang. Upskill yourself. Now the law. You think the law is against you. It is not. There's a lot in the law that's on your side. Read it to the letter. Okay. For example, ada loopholes. That's right. For example, restraints. I went to Permai. They are starting to restrain back patient. Fine. I say I'm not going to argue with you because I don't have the power. We know the alternatives, which is one-to-oneness. You say no money. Okay. Follow the law to the letter lah. When you say every 15 minutes there must be an entry, every 4 hours there must be a review. Do that lah. They can't.
Betul.
They can't do that. They cannot follow the law to the letter. So that's why you must learn the law and use it on your side. Okay. Kerana you allow them to do whatever they like. So they trample on you because you don't have that information. Right. So that's how you fight quietly.
Okay.
Know people, bring them to your side, fight quietly. Empower your peers by the knowledge, by the training. So kena ada peer training ni, regular peer training. So that's why I said some peers may have emotional issues, DBT training, dialectic behavior therapy, because this is to how you manage your daily life. Those are my few words. For the deinstitutionalization is not an uphill battle, but it's difficult nowadays because when I started it, I rocked the boat so much, and they saw the numbers going down. And some of the psychiatrists who saw that got scared. Why? Because they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to fight. It's easy actually. You see the numbers going down, the money is there. You fight for your share. You want your cake.
Yeah.
You don't want someone else to take a piece of cake. You want your cake to be given to mentaris, to given to community mental health teams. Okay, that's all that you want.
Yeah.
You're not asking for a bigger cake. Okay, you have 40 million in Permai. I want my 40 million. I don't want too many staff. You don't need too many because in psychiatric hospital, what they give you is a lot of attendance. Some are good, most are no good. You want good nurses. You want good medical assistants. You want good occupation. So slightly higher end. And that's what you want. You know, in Bangladesh, they don't have attendance in the hospitals. It's all nurses. Tak payah Bangladesh, Thailand, everyone is a nurse. So easier to deal with. We'll talk, kalau you train them slightly better, you can talk to them as professionals.
Task shift.
Thank you everyone. That's my last point. Okay. So Anita has mentioned the word task shifting. This is African terminology. During the HIV times, you don't have infectious disease experts. So they train nurses and GPs to manage HIV because the numbers were huge.
Yeah.
Same thing in mental health. You can train people to do certain things. Not everything.
Betul.
Okay, doctors do something, nurse do something, others can help. So family members can help do certain things.
Betul.
They can come and conduct patient education. You give them the materials. I've got a patient who I train in hearing voices group hearing voices.
Yep.
He hear voice, he comes, he conduct a
Betul.
hearing voice group.
Yep.
They have their own methods.
Betul.
I can't be doing everything.
Yes.
So he does and help. This is called task shifting. And that's where you should be looking at as well.
Betul. Okay.
Okay.
Boleh. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kadir. I think that's a lot of wisdom, experiences, knowledge. Obviously lah, berapa tahun dah Dr. Kadir jadi psychiatrist ni?
I joined psychiatry 87.
87.
I became a psychiatrist 91.
Okay. So dalam
Until
33, 4, 5, 6, 37 years?
37 years.
MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. So 37 years worth of...
When I was a psychiatrist, only about 10, 15 of us.
Itulah, one of the earliest one, right?
Yeah,
Or the first batch?
Second, third batch.
Second, third batch,
UKM,
70s, 80s.
80s.
MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Kadir. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you fully and your family. And thank you so much for always supporting us. InsyaAllah. Thank you. Okay, so that is it, folks. Alhamdulillah, with Dr. Abdul Kadir Abu Bakar, our advisor one at MIASA since day one, alhamdulillah. So Dr. Kadir has, supported us all the way until today. He is one of the reasons why we are also able to do this work, hopefully well, and continue to grow, flourish, and create an impact in society. So don't forget to catch us every Wednesday on Real Conversations with Anita via Spotify and also YouTube, MIASA Malaysia. Take care, everyone, and please take care of yourself. Bye.
Bye.
This is Real Conversations with Anita, a mental health podcast brought to you by Iltizam by Equinus and MIASA Malaysia.